Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with an update that I knew I was going to have to make. I knew I was going to be making this very specific update, but I was hoping to God that I wouldn't end up having to make it. Hold on, I'm putting my phone on silent. Okay, so they finally put out an update about the Everrain. I've been waiting on it for a while. A bunch of other people have, but some people already got it. So they had another one. The FGL, FML, I forget the name of the company. I can never keep it in my mind. The one that had a bunch of miniatures that was supposed to be sent off. And evidently what that company did is they, shipping costs went up, all that bull crap. They only had enough to cover a percentage of the world, not the entire world when they originally collected it. So rather than putting out some type of an announcement saying, hey, everyone needs to throw in $10 because costs went up so we can get it out to everyone, they just used the money they had to ship it to parts of the world, and they just left North America out. They're like, well, it's there. There's nothing we can do. We're just going to go out of business now. Now it's your problem. So there's this multiple pallets of miniatures sitting at Quartermaster Logistics warehouse where they're never going to ship. And those people have paid for stuff that they can't get back and they can't get. And it's just so horrible. And I get it. I said it before in my previous video. I understand that this puts Quartermaster in a bad position because people are mad at them because they have to hold these items hostage so they get paid. But they have to get paid because they'll go out of business if they don't get paid for the services they provide. It's a crappy situation for everyone but the company itself. The company that publishes the game needs to take steps early on to correct this. One is not being 3 years late on delivery like this game is. That's one of the big reasons we're in this foobar of a mess. So anyway, GrimLord finally puts out an update on games still to be fulfilled because they've been getting a lot of messages. So they're like, we want to address this, blah, 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 what's been going on. In late May, Quartermaster confirmed that all our stock had arrived and was being processed. At this time, we were told they would likely start fulfilling the Everrain at the start of July due to their existing queue. Okay. In order to secure this starting slot, we were asked to pay our warehousing dispatch fees for shipping of all the games in full, which you should have done already. This is something that we had hoped to do in mid to late June, as agreed with Quartermaster. However, we advised Quartermaster at the time we were waiting on a large sum of money owing to us from a debtor, HMRC, UK Taxes Payment and Customs Authority. Evidently, this is something having to do with the UK and their taxes. We'll touch on that here more in a second. During June, we were assured that the tax guys would be working on our case and funds would be transferred within our time frame for Quartermaster, meaning there would be no delays. So they've known about this for months. They just haven't said anything about it. And there would be no delay in shipping. However, as you have probably anticipated, as we have seen, anticipated means it's a future thing. This has already come to pass. The tax people drag their heels, and we are still waiting for our case to be processed. Hence why we are not able to complete our invoice with Quartermaster to meet the original dispatch time slot. We knew. Everyone knew it's because they hadn't paid the damn shipping bill. We did offer to pay Quartermaster a proportion of the bill and stagger subsequent payments monthly in order to get the ball rolling and start shipments to you. Unfortunately, Quartermaster declined to do this. On that subject, I can understand why Quartermaster does not want to do this. That adds a tremendous amount of admin and headache to them. Okay, I would want them to do that, so at least something's going out, right? So they pay some, that amount of boxes goes. They pay some, that amount of boxes goes. Well, that would obviously put a mess load of burden upon Quartermaster. Really increase their logistics. And I understand they want to have things streamlined. They want to know everything's been paid so something doesn't get shipped out that hasn't already been paid for, vice versa, and all this other crap. I get why they wouldn't want to do this. But again, in the opposite vein, do they really want to end up with a bunch of stuff at their warehouse that the company ends up not paying for, and now the customers are pissed. They're pissed at you. And while, yes, technically it's not right to be pissed at Quartermaster, people are going to be pissed at Quartermaster. They're not really going to care, but, it will create a little bit of bad blood. It could help things along if they worked with them a little bit. But like I said, I get why they don't want to. I get it. I wouldn't want to. So I don't necessarily blame them. Where does this leave US and Canada backers? We can confirm your stock is safe and currently being stored at Quartermaster, and we are covering the storage costs for this until we can recover the monies owed to us to pay the shipping's bill. Once we have received funds from blah, we will complete their invoicing and ask them to expedite this. When will that be? We're not going to lie. We don't know. You're dealing with the tax people. When the hell do they ever give out money willingly? They don't. No. It's just bleep. That's blood from a stone, man. That ain't going to happen. They're going to take their time. They're going to hold that money. Why didn't we tell you earlier? Because you're assholes who made a very bad choice. Nothing else. Doesn't matter whatever they're saying here about why they didn't do it. They're assholes. They knew they were playing a little bait and switch game and they hoped to get away with it and they didn't. This is really dumb on their part. Honestly, we hoped we wouldn't need to, as we were assured by all parties that this would be resolved by June. Okay, and you banked on the best case scenario and you got the worst. You're morons. You do your business, but you always got to have that contingency plan. Well, what if this doesn't work out? What if our perfect little, we're going to do it this way, doesn't work? What are we going to do in that situation? Because now people are going to be very mad and they're not going to back it. I mean, I will never, ever buy another game from this company. Ever. I mean, unless it's retail and it's right there in front of me and I really want it. That would have to be like the only conditions I would ever consider buying from this company again, because they have screwed the pooch so freaking badly here. So they hoped they wouldn't need to, as we were assured this would be handled by June. This was an internal cash flow matter. However, we realized that our US and Canada backers have been getting concerned about delays and worried about fulfillment, whether or not would complete. Not least because backers have contacted Quartermaster directly for answers. I was one of them. Unfortunately, the responses from Quartermaster, which were vague as hell. Quartermaster, just tell people what the hell's going on. Hey, GrimLord hadn't paid us. Sorry. Don't give me this runaround BS. It's in the process of verification and they need to sign in triplicate. No. Stop with the business ease and just shoot straight. People appreciate that. They don't appreciate being lied to. Ask Chaos Orc how I've responded to them lying to me. While strictly true, we haven't yet settled their final bill, has created a misleading notion that we aren't planning to at all. This is not the case. Why can't we cover the bill without the funds returned from this? Now, this is where they have really screwed up and they try to blame a bunch of stuff that, it's outside our thing. This wasn't our fault. It was them. No, it's your fault. It's your fault. All completely on you. As most of you know, a lot has happened since we funded this project in 2018. That's 4 effing years ago. Freight shipping costs have gone up, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you delivered when you said you would, you wouldn't have to deal with this now, would you? Dispatch and courier costs are more than double. Of course, material costs got up with Brexit and subject to the new VAT rules. And as free movement of goods across the EU is no longer applies to British companies, therefore EU-friendly promises no longer apply. What does that have to do with North American backers? What does that have to do with us? Now, they're taking this whole issue as far as taxes, VAT, and the EU and all that crap. Now, your personal thoughts and crap about EU and Brexit and all their stupid stuff doesn't matter. Here's my problem with this. They took our money, the North American backers' money, and they used it to pay those costs. So they wanted to keep their promise about VAT friendly this and whatever bull crap, because no government's ever found a tax they didn't like. I get that. Taxes suck. None of us like it. I wholly agree. You know, Britain and the EU, they tax way more than they should. I don't disagree, especially, good God, cigarettes. I feel so bad, especially for those of you in Australia who smoke. What is it, like $40 a friggin' pack now? Good grief. You guys deserve better than that. Australia's full of shit. I'm not saying the country. I mean, the country's a nice place. I'd love to visit, but the taxes. Oh, anyway. But here's my problem with this, is that they took our money and used it to cover other people's stuff. So our shipping costs that we paid when this originally funded, they used to cover their shipping costs, hedging their bets that they would get some tax rebate from the UK to cover the North American people. Okay, well, if it's a UK tax rebate that you're waiting on, EU, UK, whoever that specifically applies to, well, then you take that area's deliveries and you hold on those and you ship everyone else. You ship those who've already paid. And then when you get your tax rebate from that area, then you ship it off. You do not take from Peter to pay Paul, especially when it's Paul's government that's causing the whole issue. You're just robbing Peter twice. Not to mention the fact now that they have dramatically shrunk the amount of people they can go to if worst to worst, and the tax people, hey, well, we're just going to keep your money, comes to pass, and now they have nothing to pay quartermaster with. We're all just left hanging, swinging dicks in the breeze. If instead they had done like, and now I don't like this. I really want this to be an absolute last option, is to ask for more money, like demand more money, basically, for shipping costs. But people understand that companies couldn't predict this, right? They couldn't predict shipping costs going up so high. I get it. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. Ask everyone worldwide for an extra $10 versus you ship everyone else, and now you're going to have to possibly come to the North American backers and tell them, well, if you want it, you're going to have to pay an extra $40 or $50 for it each, because you used our money to pay for someone else's. That's why I'm so hot over this. Rather than splitting that burden everywhere, which, okay, I'm not going to like it, but at least you're being fair. You robbed from some to pay for everyone else and then hoped it would work out in the end, and then it didn't. And now it bit you in the ass. Huge wrong move. Huge wrong move. You deliver to everybody or you deliver to nobody, right? You spread that cost out to everyone, whatever you have to do, because now they have no choice. If this tax thing does not work and they have to force a extra payment to get the game delivered, they can only come to the North American backers and the Canada backers to get that money, because we're the only ones incentivized to pay, because we won't get it. The rest of the world who already got theirs has no reason to pay. They can't demand anything from them, but they can with us. And that cost goes dramatically up, even though they used our money to cover European and British VAT tax bullcrap. We're the ones who will end up paying twice. Then on top of that, below here, they talk about the ongoing EU fulfillment and how it's almost finished. You should have put that in a separate friggin' update, because that's insulting as hell to everyone out here who are pissed that you used our money to pay for other shipping, and now we're just sitting here holding our dicks in our hands going, where the hell's our shit? I'm sorry, but I'm hot. I'm hot over this. I fully understand that the companies are in lurches, governments are playing FF games with people, and it's really uncool what's been going down. But you have you have to make the best possible decision in that circumstance. Lying to your customers is not the best possible choice, right? You have to spread the burden out as much as possible. You do not make choices like this where you're hedging your bets and crossing your fingers and praying upon a star that everything works out just right, because then you end up in this situation and people are mad and they will never trust any of your games ever again. I'll tell you, if I ever see them do another Kickstarter, I will do the $1 back just so I can leave comments and every day go in there and just blast them, because now I'm hot. This was the absolute worst way. Now, yes, I'm hot because it affects me personally, but I wouldn't want them doing this in another direction either, right? So when I was talking about that they should take the UK backers, right, their taxes, and not deliver them, I really wouldn't want them doing that way either, right? If everyone's back, everyone's in it together, spread the burden out to everyone. Don't target one group, punish them, whoever it is. It doesn't. Asia, Australia, especially not Australia. Those people get screwed over enough as it is when it comes to shipping. Never Australia. Europe, UK, no. Don't ship to one and not ship to all. Spread it out, cover everything, and if extra costs have to be paid, you hit everyone with those extra costs. You never put it all on one group, which is essentially what they've done. I guarantee you here in a few months, they're going to be making excuses again. And the tax people are saying that it's going to be a little while, or we didn't submit this paperwork right. And they've decided they're going to keep our money because government's never seen a dollar it didn't like. So if you want it, you're going to have to pay X amount. Sorry, we spent your money somewhere else. And honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do there. It would depend on how much it would cost to get it delivered. If it was like $20, I'd probably eat the $20. But if we're talking like 50, 60, or even higher, I don't know. I don't know that I'd be willing to pay that much, especially knowing that it should have been spread out across the whole world. That way, everyone only has to chip in a few bucks to cover the difference versus just one group of people having to cover everything because you mismanaged the funds horribly. So that's where we're at. Don't back GrimLord, whatever the hell they call themselves. Don't back. I keep wanting to call them FGL. I need to figure out which one ever it is. People will put it down in the comments. The one that has all those miniatures, they're gone. BGL, I think it's BGL maybe, but they went out of business, so you don't even have to worry about them anymore. But we do need to start holding these companies' feet to the fire when it comes to stuff like this. And maybe Kickstarter needs to change their policies. Shipping needs to be charged at the tail end, right there before it delivers. That way you've ensured that you're paying up-to-date shipping costs. Because this paying for shipping a year, 2 years, 4 years in advance ain't covering it, especially when it's $15 shipping then and it's $40 shipping now. All right, but that's it. I'm off my soapbox for now. I do have some updates on some other stuff that's going on, and I have a cool new prototype similar to 2 Minutes to Midnight, but in like the old Greek world. I will have up for you guys soon, and some new stuff coming from Lock and Load Tactical, not Lock and Load Tactical, Lock and Load Publishing. Excuse me. Coming up soon as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for me. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.